Hope everyone's doing well. Just gonna wait for the chat to pop up so that we can, chat. All right. Let's see what's going on. Looks like everyone's here. Let's go ahead and adjust this a little bit. There we go. Trying to straighten it up a little bit. Just waiting for the crew to show up. You can chat about anything you want. Let's see how shadow banned I am. Zero. Well, we'll wait for people to show up because obviously nobody knew I was going to go live. So of course we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to see what's going on. Waiting on people. Oh no, I want to go this way. Here we go. Wonder how slow the notifications are. Are you guys coming or what, dude? I don't see anybody. Okay, I don't. Maybe it's the numbers. Oh my goodness. Yay, I guess the numbers are wrong. I'm good. How are you? Thanks for dropping by. How's life? I'm just here chatting about whatever people want to chat about, whether it be any of my content or anything at all, really. I hope you're doing well. I know, not like most chats that you run across, right? I'm an engineer, so I actually design experimental propulsion systems in a sense. What I'm showing on YouTube is what I can show. And that involves, I'm still printing the blades, but that involves like 22 blade high pass fans with 60 horsepower motors. It's gonna take a little while to finish, but I did print it on the X1 Carbon from Bamboo Lab, so that's a great printer, really is. That's gonna be a fun one. Hey, welcome. United States. Just hanging out and talking. Yes, I am from the United States. Where are you from? I'm gonna say, I don't want to take a guess from the last name because I don't want to insult anybody. Um, I don't understand the Hindi language, no. But from the last name, I didn't want to just take a guess and say like Ukrainian, and you get offended for some reason. I just, you know, wanted to show you that respect at least, and not guess. So you just scrolled around and checking to see who's up and chatting, or do you have were you looking for specific content today? Or is there anything you want to talk about? Oh. Well, I mean, they're here with me. Most of them. A couple of them are on the other side of the continent, doing their own thing. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I made Deadpool with the 3D printer. Specifically the Bamboo Lab X1 carbon. And it's not just the normal mask. It's the one that snaps on with all the magnets that you put in. So you can change out the eyepieces. And this is the main piece here, all the way across. That was all printed in one piece. Kind of gives you an idea of the print volume. Then the two side pieces were printed separately. The eyes were separate. The eye masks were separate. And of course, the back plate was also separate. Took a lot of magnets to put this thing together. But, well worth it, you know? Because then you can just pop it on effortlessly. Unless you have a beard. Then it becomes an issue. Then I'm beard pool. You want me to gift you an iPhone? I wish I could afford one. Yeah, I mean, I've got one through T-Mobile, but I miss my Android camera. Hey, R. Jones. Welcome, man. How you doing? You want to try and put this thing on? Okay. I've done this before, but it's very difficult. So, because I have to go get a trim. This is crazy. Okay. It's going to look funny, though. Oh, man. I hope I don't need assistance. We'll try this this way. Okay, hold on. We're almost there. I can't see a darn thing. I can't see anything at all. This is where you might need assistance. Okay, this is becoming more and more difficult. I told you it's like I've got to get a haircut and everything so that it fits like it's supposed to. I almost got it. No, I don't. Do I? No. Wait. Hold on. Oh gosh. I might need the assistance of one of my kids or something. This is crazy. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This part's gonna have to come off first. That'll help me line it up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Is everyone laughing yet? This should be funny. Yeah. Definitely something you want assistance with. I don't know if I can get this one on. It's a little small for me. I like hold it on. Working on. Okay, this is obviously not designed for my head. Whew. I may have to give this away to a lucky subscriber. We'll do a raffle on that one. I'm obviously gonna have to make a bigger one for me. Whew. This one fits though. This one fits rather well. And goes with the beard. Yeah. Yeah, I like this one. I'd read your chats, but I can't see anything. Because I don't have my bifocals on now. Time to put lenses in. But this one's definitely a much better fit. This one I think I'll raffle off at one point to a subscriber. Oh, behind me is the Dill drone. The first of its kind high-speed drone. Does it resemble anything to you? I hope it doesn't offend everyone at once. Yeah, I put this over the passenger side headrest of my car seat, or my car. Helps in the commuter lane. Whew. All right, so, well, like I said, I'm going to go through and do a raffle. So as far as the, yeah, you can see just fine out of the mask. It's just a little too big. My head's a little too big for the mask. So yeah, what we'll do is I'll set up a post about this, where everyone can go in and say, you know, I'm into the drawing, and then at one point we'll do a live one where everyone who actually made a comment, I'll write down your names, and then I'll just put them all in a hat and we'll pull it, and then we'll figure out how to get it shipped to you. Well, then I will figure out a way to ship it to another country, because I'm not gonna, you know, make it to where you lose out just because you're in a different country. You know, this hobby's for everybody. 3D printing, making drones, making planes, you name it. This hobby's for everyone. So if I have to, I will bear the cost of shipping it to another country if you win. Hello, welcome. I can't pronounce your name at all, for it is not in English. And as I do not want to offend you, please give me an English equivalent so that I may recognize the fact that you have entered the chat. Thanks for that, man. It's no problem. I'd ship it anywhere I had to, you know, for, you know, I ain't gonna lie about it. If you win this and you're in, like, Russia, you know, I'll send it to you. Spider has arrived. I finally started live within his time zone. I try to be. Sometimes I take it a little too far and my wife doesn't think it's funny. You're watching me from a car, Spider? You got one of them fancy rigs. It's got a screen in it. You know, the most expensive part of my car is the gas. Everyone tells me to go with an EV, but I've blown up too many lithium polymer batteries on accident to ever get into an EV. Well, I hope you're not driving. I got a question for you. Put the mask on. Right, can you see out of it? Yes, of course you can. These lenses are the perforated ones. I'll try and get a little bit closer shot for you. So yeah, you can see through them pretty easy. It's just difficult for me because I haven't had a haircut in like 3 months. I need to trim my beard, and but I'm not getting rid of it because that's my Viking side. It stays. Try lithium iron phosphate. Okay, yeah, I guess I could. Well, I don't know if you've been following along, Spider, but we upgraded Stubby. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more blades to print. As soon as those are done, I can start with the shaft, giggity. And then I have the motor coming, which is a 60 horsepower, 48 volt. We're looking at a direct drive system with about 5,280 RPMs, which anything past that with this size fan is ridiculous and dangerous. So I'm gonna try and have some kind of shielding around the table. It'll be on this table behind me. It'll have its own rig. It'll have a load sensor set up so we can check for thrust. If they work well enough and they produce enough thrust, I swear to you, I'm making a Green Goblin surfboard from Spider-Man. That's next. Sally Maiden is waiting on, like you said, some wire extensions for the servos and an ESC for that 90mm I've got. That's not an Avian. I don't want to use an Avian. For some reason, Avian ESCs, they're like high tech. And then their explosions are also high tech and random. So I'm going to go with a standard analog ESC and just send it. It's dependent on the magnets at this point, the mask is. But on the right sized head, it won't matter, I guess. You could, if it fits properly without having to take the side panels off for someone else, then you could put some Velcro strapping on the inside with double-sided sticky tape or something to make sure that those sides don't come off, and then just pop the back on. Or make sure it's Velcro taped to where even if something does come off, it'll just hang there. You can pop it back on or whatever. Printed a very thin blade and cast it. Yeah, yeah. PXD's right, because we did discuss that. It was like a, oh God, I forget the exact process name, but it was the sand casting where you coat it with a resin and then add the casting sand and then more resin, sand, more resin, sand. I also thought it'd be easier just to try and get a pocket CNC machine, because now I'm sort of within the size realm that I'm looking for using the CNC. And with 4 more blades to print, this will be done. This has got some significant weight behind it, I'll tell you that. And then, yeah, I'm gonna do the rear shaft. I have it redesigned for new bearings with a 40-inch bore, and there's 4 of them stacked up inside the new stator hub that I did in Fusion. And then I have a new fan casing I did in Fusion. Everything had to be split into like quarters to print it on the X1 carbon. So I'm wondering if Bamboo Labs has a heart to send me an H2D to review on my site, so that on my channel, so that I can show them what their H2D is capable of, considering their X1 carbon is capable of all this. I can only imagine. And I'm only hoping that the extra bells and whistles are something that I will use in the shop. So the ball's in your court, Bamboo Lab. I'll be waiting for that H2D. And a ton of consumables, okay? Because I'm going to run through this thing. Like everything you see here is on the X1 carbon. Yeah, add sand casting method. We could do that. Yeah, the electroplating was a good idea too, if it imparts any kind of exterior strength to the layer bonding. It's worth trying after we test this blade to, spray it with some graphene, let it dry, and then electroplate it. But the problem is I'd have to make compensations for that inside the print. Otherwise, I couldn't hammer anything together. It's either that or we just put the thing together and electroplate the entire blade as one piece. Ooh, let's make it gold. That's a good idea. Give the Ultra Stubby Fan V6 a grill. All right? Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to do. That is gonna be a fun fan to spin up. Of course, this one, now I've had the smaller versions, the 170 millimeter versions of this blow up literally in my arms. So this one I'm not going to be in the garage for. There's a camera mount up here I'll be monitoring everything with, and then all of my recording cameras will be in here, which is basically just 2 phones because I can't afford anything else. I'll have one set up to watch the fan specifically, and I'll have one set up to watch the load sensor, so you can see the thrust output. We will be pushing 48 volts through 150 amp ESC that's set for 48 volts. The batteries are 2200 milliamps times 2, run in series for 48 volts. The maximum amp draw of the motor is 100 amps, and the ESC is capable of 150. So since the motor is capable of handling 75 volts, pushing 48 is going to keep me in that RPM threshold I'm looking for, and it will also keep the heat under control because I'm not going anywhere near the max torque of the motor. But it will give me the RPMs I'm looking for. Yeah, this one's 340 millimeters. So it's going to be fun. It's going to move some air. That's for sure. I have to make sure there's nothing behind it. That's why I'm putting it on this cart behind me, because this cart is going to be dedicated to that setup, that rig, the rail system for it, the load sensor, all that other stuff. Because I already have the other 2 170 millimeters on the rack on the table. So, and then the ironic part of this whole thing is that they both run off the same motor. It's just one runs on a 4-to-1 gear ratio that gives it 25,000 to 28,000 RPMs. And this one doesn't need that many RPMs, so 5,500 RPMs, roughly. And it should push some significant air. We're talking 2 of those probably lift me off the ground, and I'm 290, 6'4", 290. Um, Holly Mindset TV. This is Deadpool, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, Deadpool. Everybody loves Deadpool. Um, yeah, I can see at first glance if you know, don't watch Marvel comics or anything like that, or if you're not familiar with them, how that could be a mistake. Um, there is a Spider-Man mask that's built kind of in the same fashion, so I wanted to print that one too, but not yet. Everyone's like, no, it's Deadpool. It's okay. Yes, Deadpool is a one of my favorite characters. And if you never watched the show or the movies, I'm sorry. If you've never watched the movies, where have you been living? Because everybody knows Deadpool. Putting the blood down. Welcome back. Glad you're here. Anybody new here who is interested in this kind of stuff, whether it be RC drones, turbines, planes, or just sitting around and chatting for the heck of it while I'm waiting for parts to get here, um, you know, be sure to subscribe. Share it with your friends who you think might be interested in the same thing. Because I don't just focus on just the RC stuff. I do a lot of other stuff like this, or I work with Arduino a lot, make custom lighting, things like that. And running a drone that has four 340 millimeter EDF engines on it is going to be fun. But I hope you've heard of Deadpool. What's with the exclamation points in each end of the comment? Is that so I notice it? It's helping actually because I'm quite bifocal impaired. The wood mask, that's actually not wood. That's an FDE color 3D print that I put together for Halloween. This one does actually fit me. And it goes well with my body armor. So if anyone's trespassing late at night, they get a scare of a lifetime. Because I've had trespassers. And showing up in this and full body armor, like full battle rattle. And everyone's just like, okay, we'll get off the property. And if they don't, that's what the 37 millimeters are for. Yeah. Yes. And 37 millimeters are legal. They're just bird bangers. It's just for the people that go on my property and try to pull the cameras down because they're trying to tag something or break into the building. And it's funny because I'll get an alert and then I'll watch them actually trying to pull the camera down. So I just stepped out with the 37 mil and just thum, 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 and just boom, 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 and they come running out, and they're like, "What the F, bro?" And I'm like standing there with the whole rig in my hands, and then they just turn around and say, "I ain't having none of that," and took off. I'm like, "Oh, you dropped your gangster behind you just a minute ago, because you were ready to tag stuff up over on my property, thinking you're gonna not be identified by getting this close to the camera and then pulling it down, considering everything goes to the cloud." And it was just funny. They thought they were smart. They took the camera. The camera was insured, but they took the camera as if they were somehow going to be absolved of their sins. And that's just funny to me. But as soon as he came up underneath that fence, it was like getting mad at me and like trying to square up. And I was like, "Hey, I'm ready. Bring it." That's all there is to it. Don't trespass on my property. I don't want you to get hurt. Most of the time, I don't want people getting hurt on the property. But the vandals, well, they might not get hurt on the property, but the vandals, they will suffer of the heart for the injustice that they have committed. It'll be on their conscience alone. I will have no physical interaction with the repercussions. Just a disclaimer. Idea: what if you designed and printed an 8-foot thing? What? To watch over the corner of your vision. And hold on a second. Like gnarled limbs and patch. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Scaring the living crap out of somebody is what you're trying to do, which I'm down for. Spider, always good for putting just ideas in my head that completely and totally pull me off the project I'm on. That's okay. I understood. I'm dyslexic and have ADHD. You could have wrote that stuff backwards and upside down, and I would have got it. And just like another head comes out with like lights behind it, and it's like talking to you using Arduino, like, "Is it dinner, master?" You know, that might scare somebody. Yeah. Hi, Josh. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. We're all just kicking back and just having a good time. And apparently YouTube isn't counting any of you, because it shows I have zero people in that are watching me, and I have no idea how many people are watching me at this point. I can't really show the body armor just because of what's on it. So I don't want YouTube to like have a friggin' coronary. But if anyone's ever filming me when I'm clearing the property across the street from violent offenders, you'll get a chance to see it. And maybe some fireworks. Yeah, where is Bug? Probably gonna get the notification and go, who's waking me up right now? Yeah, 6 people are watching. That's normally how it goes. The reason why is because I haven't gone live as a female. And I guess my cleavage isn't the most attractive for most. So, you know how it goes on these things. They act like they're coming on here for good conversation or content, and they're not. They're going to watch some girl react to a video that you've already seen 100 times on YouTube. And all they're doing it for is to watch the girl. And that's why they get all the views. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. It's that Sniper Wolf chick. Absolutely not even 2 brain cells to rub together. The only thing she's got going for her is she's got 5 airbags. She's sitting on 2 are hanging from her chest, and 1 is out the top of her neck. And that's the bottom line. That's what people are going for. All right? And I'm not showing up to one of my lives in a bra because I doubt that's going to bring any more attention to people. I mean, you know, I'm just here to talk, have fun. You know, if 6 people show up, 6 people show up. So what? If 1,000 people show up, that'd be cool. If 1,000,000 show up, that'd be even better, but I'm not that popular. But just wait. Wait until everyone in my area is going, is that a UFO? And I'm just in the park going, yes, I did 3D print this. And the mask behind me, everything I have in here pretty much are 3D printed. The turbine engines, the drone that's underneath the mask there. Let's show that off. We have to show respect to the dill drone, right? I might have to market this one. Lonely Housewives. Are you an FPV pilot that's lonely? Get your dill drone today. Actually flies better than I thought it would. And it's all 3D printed. So basically what it was is I had parts in the garage laying around I wasn't using. So I went ahead, I threw something together in Fusion and it ended up looking like that. And then I just printed it out and built the drone. Freaking bug. He remembers like the trolls that came in from the last conversation or the last live that I did. They want me to repeat, you know, some of the things that they're saying in chat because I guess they're hoping that, you know, it's funny and they can laugh. Like I didn't hear any of that. You know, since 6th grade. Are you taking off, Dawson? You trying to tell us something? I even like I can even hear. He's like, bye. All right. There you go. Now you're on the right track. All right, you have a good day, Dawson. So, I hope everyone's having a good day today. It's almost the weekend. Of course, every day for me is a weekend. That's why there's so much 3D printed stuff in my garage. That's why I'm like printing in like mass, like turbofans and high pass turbines and masks and like, you know, logos for, because my daughter wants to do a channel about reptiles and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do. I had to print her logo up. All right, Dawson, we'll be here. But yeah, basically, this is all I do. I like to create things, so I create. And Fusion 360 has been my friend. People like SolidWorks better. Not sure why. Well, that was fast, Dawson. Where am I? I already did that earlier, and with as big as my head is, it's a little difficult, especially since I need to get a haircut and a beard trim. But if you rewind, you'll see what struggle I went through doing this by myself, with no mirror, because it's magnetic. It's held together by magnets. I'm sure you've seen it before. So the whole thing's held by sets of magnets. which means that you can change out these things. I guess they have different eyepieces you can print too, like that mixes it with like the Wolverine style mask. So you can kind of mix things. But I'm gonna raffle this off. We'll have a live. I'll put up a post. Anybody interested in the mask, put your name in, say I'm in. We'll do a live raffle where I put all those names in that comment on it, and then I'll just pull your name out of a hat. And if you win, you win. I'll announce it live. And not a lot of people have been getting notifications of my lives. I'm not exactly sure why. It's probably because I'm completely and totally unpopular at this point. And, you know, and I don't have, you know, a girl reacting to my video. So nobody's gonna drop by. Or it's not some kind of like accidental carnage or something like that, or somebody putting Gorilla Glue in their hair, or I mean, I could go down a list, but some of the things that do attract people as far as watching content on YouTube is beyond mindless, and I don't get it. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm an engineer and I expect a certain type of audience, but I also want to, you know, cater to the audience that may not be into engineering or drones or things like that, and just be able to have chat discussions or print a mask or something like that, or come up with some ideas of some cool stuff to print, or talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. The Twinkie video. Yes, I don't know for certain whether or not I am the only one that has ever filmed a Hostess Twinkie for 24 straight hours, but I did. And at the end of that 24 hours, I massacred the Twinkies with, it was just funny. So, hey, what's going on, Gary? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live discussion of however many people are here and whatever we're talking about, which is whatever you would like to talk about. I have not. That's a long project. That's a long time coming before that's done. That's more of a me getting out here after doing some work and relaxing and doing a little bit of work on it, being slow and meticulous with it. And that's how, like I've showed you before, that's how I got that kind of worn look across this side so far of the ship. And some of husky hair everywhere. Some of the deck and getting it stained and wearing it in. The lighting set up for it, and which comes out of the keel. So the two wires for the lighting. We have lights for the rear cabin, lights for the two lanterns at the back. And I'm also going to try to incorporate some lights off the masts and things like that, lanterns, things like that, using micro SMDs that run off of very little power. As a matter of fact, I could put a radio frequency, an RF frequency collector, in a sense, in the corner of the room, and make the coil, put the same coils inside the lanterns, since they're going to be so small, and transmit power to them through the air. So there's no visible wires that go to those lanterns. You just hang them up and they light up. So kind of like putting a light next to a Tesla coil. But I'm harvesting my Wi-Fi signal's energy in order to produce the lighting I need for this, so that it looks good on the wall. There's a lot more to do, obviously. I have a ton of work to do to this thing. On the other side, we'll finish up the planking, and then we'll start doing the railing, which is going to require a lot of soaking the wood and bending it with the hot iron to get these curves in, because it's all walnut, and it has a lot of details for it. But we'll get into a video. Maybe I'll do a video where, if I choose a day to just sit down and just work on that with no context, possibly answer some questions, then I'll get a camera up kind of watching me build the thing. Again, it's still, I'm kind of growing everything. I don't have a lot of filming equipment. I don't have a lot of, good cameras and things like that yet. So I guess I've done pretty good so far with an iPhone. Anyone can donate. Yeah. Yeah, there's always there's always people that jump in and try to say mean things. I don't care. I mean, that's like somebody crying over something and blaming you for it that you have nothing to do with. I mean, if you're content with being in whatever basement that you currently reside in, and you're content with going out and just trolling people's channels, I mean, I welcome it. I welcome it. Come in and say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to repeat some of the stuff you say because, I don't want YouTube to go, oh, he said that? But, I can choose whether people see your comments. I can choose whether or not they see them. So, but I don't hold people back. Sometimes YouTube itself mediates the comments, and then I don't get to say whether or not somebody gets to see it or not. It's kind of weird. Dawson, taking off again, man? All right, we'll miss you. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, and hopefully the notifications work, which is one thing I have to find out about on YouTube, because there isn't a lot of people that show up that were notified of the live, and there's a lot of people that are subscribed. So, and all of my subscribers that have the bell clicked for notifications, as cliche as that sounds over and over again, they're not getting notified of the lives. So maybe YouTube just doesn't like the fact that I'm kind of outspoken about things. Who knows? Thank you, Dawson. Welcome to the club. We have a Discord, so make sure you check that out and join it too. Also, a lot of links in my bio for Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, the Buy Me a Coffee link, which is where I hope people decide at one point to be extremely generous so I can afford to keep doing this until my VA benefits go up. So, yeah, I take everything I get, I put it back into this. Somebody sends me any kind of support whatsoever, I'm like either buying a roll of filament or a motor or bearings or anything that goes into the projects that I'm doing for the channel, for you, and for everybody. Plus, I try to help out other people when I can. Like Bitter Coffee for Bitter People. Go to breakfastinbread.store. If you use DPC10, you'll get a discount. And the link is in my bio. So if you like coffee, go get some bitter coffee. I try to mention that guy every time about the bitter coffee because he's doing what I'm doing, man. He's working. He's working the angles. He's making a good product. And I'm trying to do the same thing. So, got to help a brother out, And he sent me coffee. Like, you send me coffee, you are automatically on the Christmas list. That's all there is to it. Dawson Riley. Back again. Where do you keep going? hurry up. There's so many people here. No, I appreciate everyone that's dropped by. No, that's tobacco. Pipe tobacco. Regular old pipe tobacco. Try not to show the name because I don't want to try and... It's just regular pipe tobacco. I'm not trying to endorse anyone for smoking. It's a bad habit. It's one I actually used to smoke a pack a day, maybe more. And I stopped doing that. And I tried not to inhale this, not to sound too much like Bill Clinton. But I kind of let the aroma kind of just stay in the beard and go up the nose and stuff like that. And that kind of helps, you know. My lungs have gotten a lot better for it. Now I'm just transferring the damage to my mouth, nose, and esophagus. So, yeah. But I wouldn't encourage anyone to start smoking or try it just because they think it's cool or they want to experience it, because it's not something you kick easy. I mean, I was a smoker for 30 years. And now it's just pipe tobacco. Thank you, Helmut. Yes, it is a cool mask. Right now, these are the ones that I have in here. The other ones that I did they're in my kids' rooms and stuff like that. I'll have to bring them all out and next time I do a live, because I did the Huntress from Dead by Daylight. Oh, there was another one. The guy with the big chainsaw with the big white mask. I forget his name, but I did his mask. I did the Oni mask for one of my other kids. Because they wanted to do things for Halloween, so I printed them up, they painted them up, and they came out really good. So yeah, we'll do a show and tell on those at one point, but I'd have to go collect them and bring them in and set up for it. I can make Spider-Man, yes. The printer this came off is capable of a lot. So yeah, you can do Spider-Man because of the tool change. There'd be a lot of tool changes, I think, in that, because you're going from like red to black, red to black, red to black on the parts of the mask. And then of course, if it's anything like this one in the sense that it's parts that are magnetically held together, then it kind of makes it a little bit easier. So, because on the X1 carbon, you get a lot of tool changes, which means that it has to purge, and then when it purges, it shoots out the purged material, and I collect that for the purpose of trying to recycle it. I have like a whole tub here of stuff like that, like the waste from the printer and parts that are broke or that I didn't need. All go in the bin so that I can recycle them. There's a couple of different ways to build a recycler, but there's a couple of solutions that they're coming up with that are going to be sort of desktop versions of a 3D filament recycler, which will make things a lot easier because it grinds it up and then extrudes it and onto the roll and stuff like that, and I don't have to worry about building it. Which it would probably be cheaper just to buy it once it's done, depending on how expensive it is. But hey, hacker, how's it going? Welcome. So you're saying you want me to do a Scream mask? I could do that. I could do that for sure. I'm doing good. Just hanging out, chatting, talking about the projects, the masks, or whatever it is you guys want to talk about. No, not really. It's fairly easy to see through the masks. I mean, it's like any mask. You lose some of your peripheral vision, but as far as seeing out in front of you and not tripping over stuff, it's totally fine. Well, I appreciate that. I do my best. And you'll like this one, Haggard, because we're almost done printing the 340 millimeter fan. I've got a rotator cuff that's out. That hurt. And when we get this one going, that's going to move some air. Big time. No, I didn't do the ghost mask. You're talking about the one from Scream. I haven't done that one yet, but I am now going to because, well, you've requested it. So as soon as I get a chance to print it up, that's what we'll do. What I'm printing right now is blades for that fan. It is a jet fan. It is, well, in a sense, it's a high pass. What I've done is I've created a high pass EDF, similar to the ones that are smaller on the table. Allow me to show you. Show and tell time. Oh. Well, we got this one, of course. We got this mask here. We've got that plane there, which I did in Fusion. And it's almost ready, but I got to get parts. Always parts for me. The fan's almost done, but its smaller brother is here. 170 millimeter front drive and rear drive. This one's done on a 4-to-1 gear ratio. They call it. Uses the same motor as that one. But that one's direct drive. So that one's going to be a direct drive system. So I don't need the RPMs that I need with this one at this size. This one is designed if somebody wants to go ahead and build an F-35 or whatever plane you want at a fairly large scale. You have an engine you can drop in. Runs off of a 48 volt, 150 amp ESC, or an equivalent to the motor. This one I got for the sole purpose of being able to measure the amp draw and to have enough overhead to where I know, you know, what current the motor's drawing, what adjustments need to be made, if I need to adjust the timing on the ESC for that particular motor. That way I have the data that I need for it to run more efficiently. This is a 4-to-1 gear ratio as well, but it's in a different style of box, which is a front drive. So that makes it to where this engine can be put, well, like CJ was wanting, you know, a green goblin surfboard. So, and CJ's the one who puts out this right here. Don't forget to go to the link in my channel page, Breakfast and Bread, and get that and use DPC10, get a discount, get yourself some merch, get yourself some good coffee. You won't regret it. I love that stuff. But yeah, this is the smaller version of the Monster fan. And this entire table is actually going to be set up as a rig for this fan because I have to do these last couple of blades, the rear shaft, the index, the motor mount, which has been designed. I did all that last night. And it's the 70-60 horsepower 75 volt motor, which we have limited to 48 volts so that I have the overhead I need without overheating the system. And I will be filming this from outside the room. That is for certain. Because I'm not going to get hit by whatever's going to come off of this if something goes wrong. But I had to design this system in a hub configuration. The other one I was able to print full. So the main differences are pretty much, here, let me grab the Madonna boob fan. So it's the same fan configuration, except this one you could print full, and that's the 170 millimeter version. And then you've got the 340. So basically the idea was I had to redesign this fan so that I could take the blades in and out. And the purpose behind that was so that if I do get a CNC, a desktop CNC for this system, I can actually CNC the hub out of aircraft grade aluminum along with each one of the fans. And the offsets for this are 0.05, so they're pretty tight tolerances for FDM printing, but for CNC, it's perfect. So there's that size difference right there. And this one was already pushing a lot of thrust. And it's the same fans that are in those right there. So it's the same fans in those motors there. And now it's going to be much bigger. So this is going to get good. Yes, I am preparing for something very, very big. I wish I could tell you all. All I got to say is, if you've ever ridden a quad through the mud, you'll know what it's like to fly at basically surface level and still be able to go up higher if you want to. I'll be the first pilot for when it comes to the quad version. The reason why is because I'm 290. So if I've got this thing lifting me, then it's going to lift anybody else just fine. So we're going to be running 4 of these and a lot of battery packs. So testing of this one's going to be fun. What else we got going on here? Oh, I'm going to put together a Deadpool action figure from IKEA. And then I'm going to put it on, Deadpool. He'll be riding the top of the dill drone. But we've got some sunny days coming up. So I may be out tomorrow at the field. Put the dill drone through its paces. I've got some battery packs all charged up, ready to go. And yeah, we're going to tear up the sky with this one. I was going to say something else, but we're just going to tear that sky up like it's prom night. But yeah, that's where we're at so far. And then that one will fly eventually when we get some other parts in. We are working on it. Oh. So, well, yeah, I'm a little. You guys, did anybody that was completely sane ever make anything fun? Sane people make the Smart 4 too. They're like, ooh, this is good on gas. And you get inside of it and it's a little shoebox and you can go to work and come back and save money on gas. I don't care. I want you to have unbelievable amounts of torque, get on a quad, fly to the store. And you're like, screw you, traffic. See someone in a car you don't like, you just go, But it'll be fun. Everyone here, I would like to talk about the donations. Primarily through Patreon and the Buy Me a Coffee link is how I get any kind of funding at all that goes towards this. And I don't get that much. I don't get, it's there's a few subscribers that have definitely helped me out more, but you're not obligated to make donations, just so you know. You're not obligated for that. Now, eventually, when I get to my watch hour mark, I start doing super chats. That'll start helping to bring some money in if people actually want to ask me a question and pay for it. I thought that was kind of odd when I first, you see these big YouTubers and they only answer the super chats. I don't want to be that way. If you're going to do a super chat, yeah, I'm going to do your question, but I'm going to answer the other questions too. It's not my coffee, but it is a friend of mine's coffee who's actually supporting the channel. So I like to give him a shout out. So check out that link in the bio, get yourself some coffee and get yourself some merch while you're there. I mean, eventually the merch I'm trying to put out will go out, but it's when I have a website, because this is the Stubby Fan. So I have the Stubby Fan mug. I'm gonna have shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. It's got the nice DPC logo on the back, Stubby Fan in the front. What do you mean how? If you're wanting to try the coffee, you just go to my channel page, and if you go down into the links, you'll see the breakfast in bread link. That's who sells the coffee I just showed you. And the Buy Me a Coffee link is separate from that. That's where you can do donations, where you can go in and say, I'm going to buy them a couple of coffees, and then that money goes into, sort of an account that I wait for it to get high enough so I can dump it into my account so that I can actually order more supplies. And that's how I keep things going. I put in what I can after I pay my bills with the money I get. And then when I'm out of money, I'm out of money. Like this kind of out of money. Not like I have a savings account and I can't afford to make this particular purchase because it's unwise. This is like what I have. Okay, that's it. If I have like 20 bucks in the bank, I'm gonna go, that filament's on sale for 16. And then I'll just buy it, that kind of thing. So yeah, any donations go straight into this. Eventually, I'm hoping that I get to the point where I'm monetized, because then I'm just going to grow the channel even more. I'm going to get a bigger place, a bigger space, more machines, more supplies, pretty much everything I can to bring you guys whatever it is you want to see built. I have a major idea that I'm building, but I also want to make sure that these STLs for the smaller versions of these fans and their components lists are made available to you so that you can print and build your own turbine if you want to do something. So, you don't have to put it on a plane. You could put it on a go-kart. Put 2 stubby fans on a go-kart and hold on. So it's one of those things where I wanted to kind of make a versatile engine, a versatile turbine, but using a high-pass blade system. So that's where all the experimentation with the gear ratio system came in, and the different motors that I used, different powertrains, different batteries, ESCs, pretty much the whole 9 yards. So it's been a lot about trial and error, data collection, having fans explode in your face, realizing that PLA flying out at 200 miles an hour is just as dangerous as a bullet. So the fact that that's why my fan casings are extended, because it actually deflected most of the blades forward and then through the back of the turbine when it went off. And I wasn't recording at the time because I was just testing a motor. And I should have been, because that would have been an epic thing to see. Me holding this thing down on the table and then ramping up the throttle, and then boom! I suffered no injury whatsoever, but these blades went through the case, through the back. I should have got hurt, but I didn't. And that's one of the things I want to touch on, is like, if you do this, you have to take some precautions. You have to know what you're doing, what you're dealing with, and you have to be very, very careful. And I don't suggest that you do this if you don't have the experience in EDFs. I am, however, trying to make it comprehensive to the point where you can just go, I can print this up, put this motor on it, and it will run. And you limit your RPMs to a certain safe RPM tolerance so you don't get injured. And that's what I want to do. So you're printing at your own risk. Okay, I'm just telling you that right now. I don't want to take responsibility for that, but I also don't want to be the reason why anyone gets hurt trying this. So really kind of get into studying what you're doing when it comes down to high-pass turbine engines, ducted fan engines, high voltages, using plastics and stuff like that when you're 3D printing, making sure you know the centrifugal tolerances, so that you don't get injured. I don't want anyone getting injured. I want to have a great time, but please don't get hurt. Oh, come on, Dawson. You're going to be back in 5 minutes. Yeah, I get that I'm underrated. Sorry, I missed that part of the conversation. I don't know why, other than the fact that I'm just open about who I am and what I believe and what projects I'm doing. Part of the reason why people don't watch me is I have all of my clothes on. So, and I'm not sure that would help if it were any different. But my point is, it's the way YouTube is. It's like, okay, you've seen the shorts, I'm sure, about you hear the little kid's voice talking about how, what makes him mad is that we do a lot of work to make our videos really good, and we don't get very many views, and then a girl smiles on TikTok and gets the 100K. So it's YouTube does the same thing, okay, and they may not like the fact that I'm saying it, but it's really because they want the ad revenue. And they're a business, so I don't blame them for that, but they could be going about it a different way rather than just going, oh, there's a girl that's obviously showing off everything. Let's go ahead and exploit the issue and push that video rather than any intelligible science that you could possibly implement to, have fun as a hobbyist or further better the future of technology or flight. Let's shove that in the background for the cleavages, right? I do use Instagram, yes. Not as much because I try to get some of my videos on there, and then I mess it up somehow, and it's like if I do something from Patreon and I push it over to Instagram, then it's like they want you to go to Instagram and join and stuff like that. But I do try to get stuff on Instagram. So yeah, like I said, if you look in the links in my channel page, you will see pretty much all the platforms that I'm on. There is a Discord you can all join. So if you have questions, we got a great community there that likes to answer questions, or you can stream the game and some of the game channels and just have good conversation, hang out. Yeah, I told you you'd be back, Dawson. I knew you would. So yeah, you're in a different time zone, and that's one of the things I try to accommodate. Is I'll have live streams that I do like at 7, which is Pacific Standard Time for me, and then I'll try to do lives like I do earlier in the day, like I'm doing now, so I can let people on the other side of the continent get a chance at jumping in and having a good time or seeing what's going on. So I pretty much make this kind of a 24-hour gig for me. I want to play some games online. I have a playlist for Warzone, but it's slowly turning into a Fortnite. But I do have Hunt Showdown, which I just got back. I used to play that on Xbox all the time, and I love that game because it was just so cool. So I might stream some Hunt Showdown later on tonight if I can get my streaming software to cooperate, and then we'll go from there. If you guys like those kind of games, live in Texas, lucky dog. Yeah, unfortunately, I was born in California. And it's like one of those, it's like trying to get out of an empty swimming pool, and it's slightly damp on the walls. You're not getting out. And you're wearing tap shoes the whole time. So it's like, that's what it's like to try and get out of California, okay? I used to play Fortnite. I still have an account. I can. I don't know why I lose interest in a game for a little bit, and then I'll move on to one, and then I'll go back to another because I'll lose interest in it. But unbeknownst to me, that's actually kind of a good thing because it kind of breaks the monotony in the online gameplay. So yeah, I'll do Fortnite, and everyone's like, "You gotta do this one or do that one," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that." I even tried B&D Drive, where you just kind of set up a track and just destroy a car. That one's fun for me. I like playing that one. Yeah, you could. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember what my screen name is on there. I'll make a post. I'll do a post where I can give out my my gamer tags for the games that I do play. So that if you ever see me live and you want to jump on, you know, hit me up in the chat and I'll be like, I'll send you an invite. We'll play a game together live. Got to be careful though, because people like to ruin your lives when you're playing a game, especially if you're on mic. Because that happened to me once, where people started like as soon as they found out that I was on a live, they started spitting out racial slurs left and right, and that channel got, or that not that channel, but that video got just stopped, and you know YouTube kind of dinged me for it, and I'm like if you can clearly hear me telling them to stop talking like that, so I try to. So if you do play with me, it'll be off mic, or at least I won't broadcast it. So, yeah, Xbox. All right. Well, like I said, I'll do a post where I put up my gamer tags so you can all, you know, add me if you feel like it, and then we'll, on whatever games I'm playing, whether it be Warzone, whether it be Fortnite, whether it be Hunt Showdown, whether it be, you know, I don't know if you, what other games are you can play together on. Like I played once Human before, then they changed a bunch of stuff on it, and I can't figure out how to play it. It's gonna take some trial and error so I can get back into that one. But I do like those immersive games. Hey Spade, welcome. How you doing? Yeah, that's all it's good for. The LWP. That's all it's good for, is painting fiberglass over. Thank you, Dawson. I appreciate that. Yes, this is 3D printed, as well as this one is, and the Dill drone behind me. So yeah, and I do everything on a Bamboo Lab X1 carbon. And I'm trying to get Bamboo Lab to send me an H2D because I want to see how it would complement most of my projects in the shop. So it would be great if they did that. I might not have enough subscribers where they would look at me and not laugh when I ask for, you know, a product to kind of test. But you know, we put in a lot of money on the X1 carbon and filament and things like that, and it's so expensive. I would love to have it, but I can't afford it. So at least not until somebody buys one of my organs. Yeah, I've been there, Josh. Don't sweat it. I appreciate that, Hacker. That's nice. I wish everybody would watch. You know, I hope so too, and it's really just for the fact that I want to keep bringing you guys content, and then I want to finish up some really good motors and turbines, and get those STLs out to you guys. Because the goal is I wanted people to be able to jump on Amazon and go, that's the ESC, that's the motor, that's the bearings I need, and a box of screws, and you know, bolts and whatnot, and then you can get all that stuff off Amazon and then put together a motor that would compete with a $5,000 Schubler EDF, you know, just with a 3D printer. That was the whole purpose behind most of this, because I didn't want to rely on somebody else's motor tech. I wanted to kind of do it myself. No, I don't play Outroad Outlaws. There's my dyslexia. I do not play Off-Road Outlaws. on my phone, no. I'll check it out though. Sounds fun. I'll definitely check it out. I wish there was a way to, there may be a way to do this. I just haven't figured it out yet. It's like if you're on your phone and you decide to go live with what you're playing, I don't even know if that's possible. Um, like if you're playing it from your phone. So I don't know. I think I've seen people do it, but I have no idea. Until then, it'll just be on the PC, and then I'll just use some streaming software. And like I said, tonight will probably be Hunt Showdown, which I used to be really good at, and I have found out since, because it was a long time since I had played it, because I had played it originally on the Xbox, and I got real good at it. Had pretty good hunters, and now it just seems like everybody's in there just to kill another hunter. I think it's funny. Yeah, it's FDM. I mean, the layer height on this is actually, it doesn't look like it, but it's 0.2 standard layer height. Yeah, check out the Bamboo Lab X1 carbon. And the H2D is also from Bamboo Lab. So that's something I want to get because it's sort of a multi-roll printer, plus it has a bigger print bed. And it can do a lot more. Like it has a laser cutter in it. It has a nylon cutter in it for doing stickers or decals or whatever else. So it's fairly versatile in what it can do. And that's one of the reasons why I was hoping that they would send me one, because I would love to see with what I'm having to do and some of the challenges that I do run into with FDM printing, I might be able to solve with something that can cut, some plywood or some thick balsa to help me out with some kind of the body structures and things like that I want to do for the airframes. Because the airframes that I want to build for the planes are for those 170 millimeter turbines. I plan on doing an SR-72 Dark Star because, and I know it sounds crazy and everyone's gonna think so, and they're gonna tell me it's not gonna work. They're not gonna make it work because they said that. I am going to build a Mach 1 RC aircraft. Not so everyone can fly around at Mach 1, but because I want to break the sound barrier with an RC aircraft that I 3D printed, that I fiberglassed the body, that I cut out all the parts on, that I built the engines for, I printed the engines for. So that's why we're trying to optimize the thrust out of the 170s. Because, hey, Spade, thanks for stopping by, man. Go get your grub. I'll be here. And thanks, and I appreciate you stopping by. The idea is that the H2D can actually cut fairly thick balsa wood parts, which will be really good for doing laser cutting of parts for body structure implants when you're doing carbon fiber overlay. I don't know if it can cut carbon fiber. Not sure. It might be able to cut it. If it does, that's even better for me, because I can just bring the CAD file over and I can cut that part out of the carbon fiber for the body structure, and then go from there. This is one of the reasons why I want the printer, because I want to push it to its limits. I want to find out everything it can do to complement what it is that I'm doing. And I built a CNC. That's the plane that's sitting on it right there. That's a 3-axis CNC that I 3D printed. And then I went and, we got the tubes and got the wood for the table, and a friend of mine did the laser cutting of the steel so that we could have the chute for the vacuum over the top. And it was originally an MP CNC, but we made it much bigger than it was supposed to be. So we went with thicker steel for the guide rails for the purposes of making larger pieces. Is it okay if I watch someone else? Of course it is. It's not going to offend me. I appreciate you stopping by. So does anybody else have any other questions about what I'm doing? If you are interested in any of the content, I do have plenty of playlists. The Shrike concept drone is kind of where all this started. And that was a quad 70 millimeter EDF drone that I built that ran off a 6,000 milliamp pack and Speed EV F405 wing, APD 500X power distribution board, and it worked very well for what it was, and it gave me the data that I needed to kind of move forward in the projects that I'm doing now. And when I kind of hit that bottleneck of these really expensive EDF engines, so I wanted to go bigger, that's what kind of led me into designing an engine of my own. And that's where we're at now. Now we're at 340 millimeter EDFs. So it's going to be fun when I finally run those things. I'll be finishing up the blade prints for that today, and then the main shaft for that will be printed. The shaft hub, and then the outer casing, blade casing. So it's not going to take too much longer to print out this rig. The ductwork that I have to print for testing, which is like you saw on the table over there, was that ductwork isn't basically just for that engine. It's for the purposes of testing thrust output. So I have a specific distance between the fan and the exit aperture, and then the difference in size of the exit aperture. It's all to test thrust. So these engines can be basically placed within any 3D model that you create the space for these engines for. And then they would bolt right in, and then you would run your wires to your ESC, and you'd be good to go with, I mean, you're talking 0.665 kilograms of airflow per second. So that's a significant amount of airflow, which would be really good for a Harrier type build, especially if you're going into sort of the Pegasus kind of thrust diverter. The Schubler EDFs that I've seen that they use to push the air can push the air, yeah, but they're not 22 blade high pass. So we're talking lower amps, lower RPMs, same if not more thrust, and much more affordable. That's pretty much the whole purpose behind all this. Hey Jason, how you doing? Jackson, sorry. I keep saying that, don't I? It's because the screens are getting smaller. So, oh. So, yeah. So the next couple of projects is going to be, hopefully tomorrow, since it's Friday, I'll be able to take this out to the field and get that flying, and basically just rip up the sky with it and see what she can do. And she's probably not the appropriate term for that, but to see what it can do, to see if the sky ever regrets asking it out on a date. We'll find out. More blades equals less required power, same or more thrust. Yeah, basically. That's pretty much it. You end up going for more of a lower kV, higher torque motor than you do a higher kV, lower torque motor. Did I say that right? Hopefully I did. So a higher torque motor, lower kV, vice versa for a lighter blade. And the upside to that is you have to add voltage if you want more RPMs, but you use less amps. My huskies are going to destroy something in the house, it sounds like. Yeah, I adopted a couple of huskies. Everyone knows Colt and Vivian. She's not all husky. She's part coyote. She doesn't like it when anybody gets near the house. $11 blades could work, especially if if you're using this hub design where you can kind of put in 11. I mean, it's a 22 blade, so it's hubbed. All you gotta do is just space them out and skip inserts and just print smaller inserts that you can put into the blank spots, which I can make available. 11 blade, yeah, I can see how that would be would offer less fan resistance and give you some higher RPMs. But then you have to change your powertrain. So you got to think, okay, am I going to stay with a 110 kV, or am I going to cut the blades in half and go with like a 250 kV or somewhere around that if you're sticking with a 340 millimeter. 170 millimeter, I think I could get away with a standard 22.2 volt, 650 kilovolt direct drive, no gear ratio, and still get the RPMs I need, because it's going to be volts times kilovolts to get your RPM range. So yeah, as a matter of fact, that's the engine I used. That's one of the little turbo 650 that I got off Amazon, $45, and it blew that fan up. I mean, and that was a PLA blade. That's why I'm stuck with PETG, because it's a bit more forgiving when it comes to torque. I'm the only recommendation I could give you is to start looking at music channels and not drone channels. I couldn't tell you what to do, man, to get started. Yes, I have used ASA. Not ASA, I've used ASA Aero. ASA Aero was the biggest nightmare I've ever had to try printing, even out of the X1 Carbon. But straight ASA I haven't tried yet. Hey Michael, how are you doing? Glad you could make it. Can you name a car for an... I missed that question, Mr. Carr. What exactly? I don't understand what you're asking exactly. A car for an edit. I'm designing custom RC prop planes. Do you want to view it when it's done? Of course, Jackson. I'd love to see it. Yes, I made that with a 3D printer. Are you referring to the Shrike drone or the one behind me? I have plenty of playlists you can go look at that will kind of show you. The Shrike concept drone is where it kind of all started, and that'll show you from where the original design was, which was the one hanging on the wall. I don't know if anyone can see that one, but see if I can show it. Can I show it? Yeah, see that triangular one up there? That's the one that we're talking about. And that was the original idea. That was a tricopter kind of EDF with a pusher motor underneath. Still working on that one, but I had to go back to the drawing board and do a standard X style quad with the EDFs to get more familiarized with how EDFs work with flight controllers. So yeah, there was a lot of different variables I had to consider when I was making that one. And I'll eventually go back to that tricopter with a pusher, which is why I'm glad I have the TX16S transmitter, because it has these rolling wheels on the side. So my main throttle can be the up and down, and then you can still have your pitch and yaw, but then you can also use one of the knobs on the side for the pusher. So it'd be a separate, it'd just be really cool, I think. You see, well, that's how you do it, L. That's how you do it. You find something of part. This is made out of parts that were just laying around in the garage for an FPV, and then turned it into the dill drone. And that's what you do. If you've got the parts laying around and you've got the skill, man, make something fun for yourself. Dawson's back. Hi, Dawson. How you doing? I'm like waving at the chat, like you can see it. I guess you can, but you know what I mean. You're up there, not down there. Hi. What's up? Jose. I'm going to say Jose because it's all jumbled together and I have bifocals and can't really read anything else. Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe and share with your friends. Especially for more juicy drone content. Or me attempting to fly an airplane again. I'm not telling you, I like FMS. I am not buying their big beautiful doll anymore in 800mm. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. No, I want the Fox by FMS. I want the 3000mm wingspan powered glider, because that's where I shine when it comes to flying aircraft. That and the small EDF jets, like the F-22 Raptor that Banana Hobby used to sell. I don't know who made it though. I'm guessing it was FMS. I'm not sure. But the small F-35 and the small F-22, loved flying those things. Had a blast with them. One second. I didn't do anything. God, I'm such a lightweight when it comes to that stuff. And people hate me for it. Especially at the dispensaries around here in California. They're like, why do you only come and get so little every month? I said, because it takes less than a thumbnail and I'm done. And then people, you know, I don't understand how people do it. I don't understand how people smoke so much cannabis. And this is in states where it's legal that I'm referring to. So YouTube, relax. Because they like to hit that button, cut the feed. Yeah, I can't take as much. I see people like smoking like huge joints. And I'm going, and they're like, oh, you can't smoke all that. You're this, you're that. Like they insult me for it. And I'm like, dude, yeah, but how much money am I saving? I'm getting the same effect as you off of the little bit that I do smoke. And I still have some for the next couple of months. You're out that night. So who's the winner in that one, huh? No, it is. Most people, they like to say, it makes you a man if you can do this, makes you a man if you can do that. I don't buy into that crap. That's the strangest sentence I think I've ever heard. What the heck, Shawtastic? Seriously? That's where you're gonna go? I'm talking about cannabis, and that's where you're gonna go with it? I gotta hand it to you. You got a way to change the subject. Damn. But also is concerning that you could say that. Yeah, I could tell. I looked at it and I was like, hold on a minute. Am I reading that right? I bet people get pissed about it too. And they're like, they get mad at you for it. And me, I'm just, roll with it, man. Have fun. The day is going. It's going typically like most days go. Sun rises, sun sets, and then I hope that I get a chance to fly out at the field with the drone tomorrow. And I say tomorrow, hopeful that a random storm doesn't pop. I'm getting weather alerts sometimes. Like today, it's sunny, but I need it to be sunny because I have to cut the front lawn, and I can't do it when it's wet, and it's like it can't make up its mind, and it's like all of a sudden you're outside enjoying, a slightly overcast day, and then all of a sudden the tornado sirens go off. It's California, and our tornado sirens are going off. We had a tornado come through here and like rip the roofs off a couple buildings in central Cali. It's like, what the heck, man? Kansas City, come back and get your weather. I mean, I enjoy the cold more than I do the heat. I enjoy the wind. I enjoy storms. You know how ADHD people are. I mean, the slightest inconvenience will set us off, but the whole world could be on fire, and we're going to be like, oh, I'll warm up my coffee a little bit. That fire, a little house fire. Do you mind if I heat up my coffee on your house fire? No? Okay, thank you. I mean, it's just crazy, and then it's like clear, and then all of a sudden, like pea-sized hail coming down in massive quantities, like not just a little bit here and there. We're talking, it looked like it snowed afterwards, which is never good for me because I drive a Hemi and I know exactly where that traction control button is. And turn it off, and I'm like, I'm going to the store. And they're like, we don't need anything. I'm like, I don't care. But that's the fun. Right? Someone gave me a car, and it was an awesome thing for someone to do. I had no reliable vehicle of my own. I did some work for a lady where I had to move 52 of her cars for her, and she screws me over by giving me a free. Oh, you can have that Range Rover. And it's like an older Range Rover, which would have been cool if any of it worked, and it had a key that worked, and I could get it to start, but somebody had already cut the catalytic converters off of it, because she ran an old restoration shop. But she left me high and dry with it, where I couldn't do anything, so I just had to junk it. And it's not like she's gonna come back and be honorable about it and pay me for all the work I did, And I was saying, well, I could sue her and get the money easy enough. But I just let bygones be bygones. She's an older lady. Then her husband dies, and I'm like, I don't know if I should feel bad about that or just tell her to pay the damn bill. But you know, that's one I leave in the hands of our Creator. That'll come back. You'll reap what you sow. Oh yeah, if you're going to Oklahoma, that's where my grandma was from. Was Oklahoma. She moved here because of the tornadoes. And I'm like, now we've got them. Well, we must have brought a few with us, I guess. I don't know. But I was born here, and there's a nostalgia, I guess, around. It's like when other states see California plates going through, they're like, they don't like it. I'm like, I'm one of the good Californians, all right? I was the red swath up the middle. Okay, so don't hate on me. I'm getting out of there. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's no way California is going to go, flip red. But what they don't understand is the majority of the entire Central Valley are red. And the blue is only in the sections that are going to fall into the ocean in the next major quake. So, problem solved. No, I don't wish that on anyone. I don't want anyone to get harmed in a natural disaster. But I do have, I'll tell you what, I take my hat off to the guys who are filming with their drones over active volcanoes and like Milton blades to get that shot. That takes some courage, because that thing could go. That's like standing over, an explosive device. You don't know when it's going to go off. you're totally chill, just like flying a drone over it, getting some amazing shots. And I'm not that good a pilot. All you would see is the drone take off, head towards the volcano. You'd see a lot of mist on the camera, and then you would see the last few seconds of the drone as it plunged into the volcano's lava pool. And would be the extent of my cinematic photography of active volcano. You got pulled over in Kentucky for having Oregon plates? It was like somebody sitting on the side of the road. It's like friggin' in Oregon or in Kentucky, and they're like, Oregon? Well, they got the gall. So did you get a ticket for just being from Oregon? Or what was that all about? Like searching the car. Make sure there's no more Oregon crap in here. Oh, you were driving from Oregon to Florida. Yeah. It's a humidity change, let me tell you. Mr. Carr, you have asked that question before, and I do not understand it in the way you have framed it. I would too, they're from Oregon. It's like, I'll pull you over too, Oregon. Okay, Lamborghini. No, let's that's typical. Do a Miata, a Mazda Miata. Oh, that's not cool. He's just mad because you didn't share. I don't even know what that means. I hear that all the time. And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Earl, you gotta kind of tell me what it all means. I'm old. MAJ, I don't think I've ever heard of that, no. The 2032 Buck Casual. And Buck has entered the chat. How's it going, Buck? I can always count on you to fly in here and drop the mic. My favorite car? I don't think I have a favorite car. If anything, it would be probably Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. I loved Mustangs, GT500, Fastback, 420. I think it was a 429 Boss. Oh, the throaty headers, Nitro. Yeah, 5-speed. This generation right now, you put them in an automatic, they're gonna be like, "What's this extra pedal for?" I mean, a manual transmission is what I meant. I loved that car. That would be the car for me right there. If it had a choice in the car, it would be that. And don't get me wrong, I like the newer cars. I think like the Hellcats are cool. I feel like they're compensating for something, but they're still really cool cars. I wouldn't mind having. I mean, I've got just a Chrysler 300, and it's got a Hemi in it, which is fun, and it has some 22s that were on it. This is the car that was given to me because the guy knew I was a veteran and I didn't have a lot of cash for a car, and the car that I had was a loaner and it was getting taken away from me, so I was going to be carless. And he didn't want to see this car go to the dealership on a trade-in because he was buying his wife a new car, and they didn't want to give him what he thought was worth. So he said, "I'll give it to a vet." He chose me. I got lucky, and I like the Hemi, but he's got 22s on there, and everything's just towed out, or it's cambered out so that it can hug the corners and stuff like that. So I'm like, just turn off the traction control. Let's just have fun today. Hey, it's an 80s car, man. It's a good car. 87 Nissan. Yeah. It was about 43 miles of vacuum hose under the hood, but other than that, it's a good car. That was like the era where they were like, you know what, let's just pipe the air everywhere on top of those things. You're like, where are my spark plug wires? That's the way it was. Someone trying to bring over, it's like, this says it has an EGR malfunction. I said, have you seen under the hood? It's like 3,000 rubber hoses and really weak, brittle connections for all of them. And it's like everything, it's just crazy. I still have about half a bag, I think. Because I still had some of my other coffee, so I was kind of splitting it, so I could kind of savor the flavor and make it last a little bit longer. But yeah, about half a bag. Good coffee, man. That's the coffee you go to, like you got your regular coffee and then you got your bitter coffee for bitter people. That's the one, that's like going for the fine china. you know, because it's a holiday. That's when you break that coffee out. So yeah, I try to conserve on that coffee. Oh, I'm getting something else. Okay, I had an 80s Pontiac with a V6 where you had to remove the whole intake setup just to, yeah, yep. That I don't know why they did them that way. I'm assuming it's just so you would take it to a shop. But it seemed like in that era they were like, you know, let's make the cars look sleek and put the entire engine together and then jam it into there, the engine compartment, and give absolutely no room whatsoever during the engineering process to remove a small part without having to remove the entire body. That's awesome, CJ. I can't wait. One shirt and hoodies. Oh, well, with these new sizes, I'd say a 3X. I mean, well, I guess it would be 3X. I have to turn sideways to get through most doorways, so let's look at it that way. There you go. Yeah, you would take the hoodie, dear. I don't think so. We'll arm wrestle over that shit. I ain't even playing. You are the love of my life and the mother of my children, but if you steal my hoodie, all right, you can have it. You will win. You have other weapons against me. You know? It's messed up, man. It's messed up. I know I'm losing the hoodie. I know I'm losing the hoodie. I know it. It's just going to be like, do I get the hoodie now? I'm going to be like, shit. Here's the hoodie. And that's the exact reason why people watch other YouTube videos with women before they watch me. I like this. I can debut the merch. You just tell me when you're going to go live with it. I'd be happy to. I'll be like wearing it. I don't care if it's a hoodie and jacket. I'll wear it. I don't care if it's 250 degrees outside. I'll be sweating like crazy. Go, see this jacket from Bitter Coffee. Yeah. Heck yeah, man. When you're ready to release something, send it to me. I'll wear it on live. Oh yeah, launch party. I'll be short the hoodie though. The wife will take it. You'll win hands down. You talking about you win hands down in an arm wrestling match? Is that what you just said to me? Friggin' 5'7", thinking he's all that. Yeah, there you go. Get a decal that goes on the side of the ductwork. Let's put the big old decal on there. I know you meant bitter. Although now I'm intrigued about what butter-flavored coffee would taste like. Yeah, there you go. Can you imagine that? A drone doing 300 miles an hour. You have to slow it down with a slow-mo camera to read the logo. New flavor unlocked. That's what you should do, is make an app where it's like a game like Doom, where you can order a flavor of coffee, but you have to pass a certain level in order to be able to order another flavor of coffee, which would promote people to play your game. And, you can be like, you can get this mug, you can order this mug, but you're not quite level 15 yet. So keep working on that and it'll unlock for you. That'll keep your app traffic up. Oh, I'm covered. Thank you. Thank you for that. But I have some greens of my own, of which I have already partaken. It's kicking in. So now I have another relaxed accent coming out from nowhere. Has to be indica though. Good Lord. That's sativa. It'll light you up for some reason. It's just like, it's supposed to be like, is this relaxing? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, not for me. It's not the sativa. I might not feel anything, but I'm building 3 houses in a row on it. I don't know why. Something about sativa just amps you up, gets your anxiety going. All of a sudden, you're just like, you're fighting off the weed monster. Yeah. Yes, progressively more and more strong coffee. That's the one I want right there. The heart attack black coffee. I guarantee it'll put me straight to sleep. Not because it's not really strong coffee, but that's because of how my system is, how it works. You know, have 2 cups of coffee, sleep like a baby. If I don't have any stimulants before bed, like coffee or Rockstar, I can't sleep. Are you saying you need stronger weed, or I do? Because I'm lightweight, man. I'm telling you, I can't do some of this exotic stuff they got out there. I cannot. Because I'll be laying in bed going, am I breathing? I think I'm breathing. I might be breathing. I think I'm dead. No, I'm not dead. I can't feel my face. That's all. I'm totally fine. Well, that's what it would be like. I can't do very much at all. I want to subside the pains that I have from everything I go through, you know, because of my wound. Sounds like the husky one's out. So, hi Colt. Do you want to go outside, buddy? Yes? Okay. All right, let's go. I'll open the back door. Hold on. Don't go that way. Come on, let's go. Don't mess with the troll. Ugh. Yeah, he wanted to go out. I can't wait to see it, man. What the heck are people doing out front? Somebody's always fighting. Not all the time. It's pretty cool around here, but then sometimes, you know, we got a couple high schools around, so you get kids graduating and then coming into their own and thinking they can get away with stupid stuff. So, 5 new flavors and 2 new designs. You had me at coffee. Ah, yes, the formula must be correct. Ah, dark mother. Once again, I suckle at your smoky teat. Anyway, I should probably quit smoking altogether. Someone tried to tell me to use edibles, which sort of worked when I was using just CBD for pain, but um, it wasn't helping with the sleep any, which was weird. Captain Janeway approved. Yep. That woman loved her coffee on that show. I'll tell you that. Well, you're a Trekkie. So am I, don't worry. I don't know about this new stuff, though, that's coming out, man. I mean, they got to throw that woke shit in, you know, ruin a good show, which was originally based on morals and values. So the irony is just lost on most people, I guess. And apparently, and I've obviously not watched it, and I'm not going to ever, but apparently that new Snow White, I guess, is getting some flack for whatever reason. I guess because the person who plays Snow White, it's oh, I open the door for the dog. Go. She's either, I don't know all the details because I don't really, dude? You can come in at the same time? All right. No, come on, in the house, go back in the house. Or back outside, I don't care, just make up your mind. Okay. Like I was saying. Okay, so who is the girl who played the Snow White that everyone, that's been so controversial lately? And what nationality was she? Because I don't want to get those facts wrong, mainly because I see this stuff pop across my screen sometimes, and since I don't care, I'm just curious, because it seems like they're doing that a lot lately. She's not being received very well for being Snow White, and I think that, and of course they have to add that racial connotation to it. They have to go, okay, well, you know, Snow White, you know, it doesn't have to be a white girl. She wasn't called Snow White because she was white. You have to read the story to understand that. So, but whatever, you know, and they can screw it up. They've screwed up everything else, right? I see the reels all the time. You know, 101 Dalmatians, and it's a whole bunch of black Labradors, and it's like Disney's version of 101 Dalmatians. So I'm guessing that's what the problem was that Snow White was played by whom I can only assume is not white. But it's interesting how they have a name for every other race except white people. White isn't a race. Okay? It's a pigment. It's a color. And that's what I don't get. I don't understand why because well, if you wanted to call me something, you'd probably call me whatever you'd call a Scotsman, because that's a large portion of my ancestry. I also have Irish. I also have Viking. I mean, we've gone through this. You know, the people from Denmark. The Queen of Denmark was my grandmother, the 31st Queen of Denmark, or the 31st grandmother was the Queen of Denmark. It was Ragnar Lothbrok's wife, Aslaug Sigurd's daughter. Yeah, she was my grandmother. So there is no such thing as white. So I mean, it's just when we gotta get away from that whole color thing. It's so freaking ridiculous. Go inside. It's ridiculous because it doesn't matter. And it's the content of your character. And if you're basing your character off of what you think people perceive you as, then you've already fallen for their trap. And there are bad people out there who will, in fact, be assholes. That's just all there is to it. And you can't blame a whole quote-unquote race for the actions of a few. You know? As you're condemning everyone because like, and now it's they, you know, we voted for Trump, so now everyone hates us for it. And then they're taking it out on Tesla because he's working for them and finding all the corrupt money spending. They're not saying anything about all the corruption. They're just complaining that it's someone that hasn't been vetted or whatever. I mean, the guy is deep in government contracts that, you know, most people don't even know about. So he's an employee of the government, okay? And he knows what he's doing. So they're just mad because they got, you know, all that money that's going out to BS programs isn't getting circled back into their bank accounts, and that's what they're mad about. Yeah, I gotta get this program down and done. Yeah, I get the fact they have to be Dalmatians. That was the joke, you know. As Disney's always like, gotta be inclusive. And now Disney World's gonna shut down. Go broke. I mean, that's all there is to it. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. You know, I'm not gonna judge anyone for it. I just don't like being yelled at for not knowing what the hell you're pretending your gender is today. So you didn't include me in your delusion when you woke up this morning, so don't blame me if I call you something that you're not, or that you're not identifying as, or whatever. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, you know, desk lamp, I didn't mean to call you a person. You know? And you weren't wearing a name tag. Or you weren't carrying a sign that says, I'm triggered by everything except this word when you call my name. It's like, give me a break, man. You want to play pretend? Do it in your backyard. Have your little tea party. Be happy. Don't go into a public space and blame everyone else for not noticing. You know, because that's all you want, right? Is the attention. I can't believe this happened to me. So you can put it on social media and try to become an icon or something. I mean, give me a break. Be who you were meant to be, not who you were programmed to. Come on. That's what gets me. Everybody's worried more about the likes and the comments and how popular they are online to a bunch of people they don't even know. And somehow that fulfills them. Oh, great. So you're getting fulfillment from literally nothing. You know? Me, I'm trying to create. I'm trying to get an audience, yeah. But it's for the purpose of perpetuating the channel and to keep things going. And because I love doing this and I love bringing this to all of you. But just some social media is just, it's ridiculous. It is just straight up ridiculous. Now you want to go inside? Come on. Make up your mind. Grow some thumbs. It'll be easier. Get in the house. There you go. Sorry, I gotta keep letting the dogs in and out. But I don't know. I just think that we're gonna lose the technological advantage if we're more entertained by somebody landing on a parking stub with their crotch after they tried to flip their skateboard, or somebody parkouring off of a building and breaking their leg. It's like it's the dumbest things that you see that people are interested in, and it's all about that shock and awe factor, right? Even the YouTube, like the videos I get for suggestions on how I should put my content together, they're like, do shorts, but make sure you get that epic, like, you know, part of the video in there, and then lead them to the video. And I'm like, but I know people who are completely and solely dedicated to video and not shorts. So how's that work? Where'd you come from? I just let you back in the house. Come here. Come on. You want to go in? Are you ready to go in now? Let's go inside. In now. In now. Go in there, you bear. Got one husky that was mixed with a Sasquatch. The other one was mixed with a coyote. It was like, so Colt tries to bark and doesn't bark. It just comes out like somebody screaming at the top of their lungs. And Vivian, she doesn't howl at all like a husky. She barks and has the deepest guttural growl when somebody gets close to the house. You'd like a super dark roast for breakfast and a light roast for afternoon. You only drink it twice? What's wrong with you? I have to close back to hold on. No. Where my battery power is on my phone. Oh, I should probably plug it in so it doesn't die. Hold on. Oh, great. I hate it when it does this because then I lose the screen. Stare at Deadpool. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Should be good to go. Hopefully. So much noise around here. Multiple pots of it. See, that's okay. See, now I'm with you. I got you. I've been drinking coffee since I was 11 or 12 years old. I don't remember too much back. Who remembers anything before the age of 10? Does anybody remember, like, they had memories of their childhood that aren't sparse, weird things? Just like jumbled, you know? I don't know. Before I was 5, I'd already died twice. So I don't remember a lot of my childhood. Yeah. What do you mean more if it's just for you? Don't share your coffee. Jeez. No, when you make a pot of coffee, you have committed to that pot of coffee. If you pour a glass for somebody else, you're doing it wrong. But yeah, what's the earliest childhood memory of the people in the chat? Earliest childhood memory. I have a few, but not very many. So I can tell you one of the most memorable ones was, and the reason why I'm into flying RC and flying altogether is I think it was when I was 5 or 6 years old. I can't remember. My parents told me about it. I remember doing it, but I don't remember my age. What was my grandmother who told me about it? I didn't have a father, and my mom was disabled and didn't really raise us. It was my grandmother did. So the people in the neighborhood didn't seem to care that there was a child on the roof with a sheet tied around his shorts, convinced that it would work as a parachute. That's when Gravity and I got acquainted, because that didn't work. It didn't hurt me. I did not get hurt when I was at least 20 feet, if not more. It was the high point of our roof. I made sure of that. And I jumped off. And I remember my knee imprints in the ground. And I realized that a sheet is not a good parachute. So, yeah. So that happened. After that, first time I died was when I was born. Second time was when I apparently found diet pills at the age of like 5 in the medicine cabinet. That's all I remember. All I remember is crawling up the counter and looking at myself in the mirror as I opened it, and then I found a bottle, and I guess I took the stuff. I don't remember what happened after that. Now, the last memory was me opening the cabinet. And then, yeah, I guess then my mom was screaming, and of course my grandma was like the one in charge. So, because I had walked out, I was being my normal self until my eyes rolled up into the back of my head, and then I was gone out. So, yeah, it just not a memorable childhood, and it was in a very freaky house. Square dancing lessons and catching minnows in the creek out back. What is this? Little House on the Prairie? Lucky you. During my teen years, my grandmother had sold our home and decided that a motorhome would be the best bet. Just for traveling, so we could travel. And that didn't work out. Neither did the grounding system on the motorhome, because through my entire teenage years, or my 10 years old and on, I experienced more electrocutions by just touching the door handle when it was plugged in to a house than anyone alive. I always like to say that I've had so much electricity run through my body that could have satisfied the death penalty 5 times over. And to this day, I am still amazed that I survived it all. And then what do I do after all that? I go to war. Oh, man. I was like, I don't know how I absorbed all that voltage and just completely and totally. I mean, the one thing I noticed was, I don't know if people black out when they get electrocuted or not. All I remember is I had full cognitive awareness of being electrocuted. My eyes were doing that jittery dance like you're looking out of the surface of rippling water. And I knew exactly what was going on, so I was consciously trying to overpower my muscles and pull away from the electricity. But anytime I've ever been electrocuted, it's been like that. I, I'm aware I'm getting electrocuted, and I do have some motor function while I'm doing it, so I'm able to kind of pull myself away from it. He grew up in a tiny Mormon farming town or farming community in northern Utah. No, not Utah. Is that where they are? So very little house on the prairie. Yeah, basically that's where I was going with that. Very little house on the prairie. Yeah, I know about the Mormons. They've been trying to get me for a while now. Must be something special about me, because it's been going on 5, 8 years of them just constantly going, can we talk to you? Oh, we know it's to the point now where they're just like, we just want it, like they're on loudspeaker. We just step outside. We just want to talk. You know, they're like, really? I even had a bishop over at my house. And I asked him, I go, well, according to your doctrine, I'm not going to heaven. I said, but I believe in Jesus Christ. And he's the only way back to the Father. So I said, if I die, am I going to heaven or not? And the bishop couldn't answer the question. So that was enough for me. Yep. Been down the former member role. I'll tell you that. And, you know, I was trying to make family happy, and so we went ahead and tried it out because they were nice people, and they're still nice people. They're great people. They're just wrong. That's all there is to it. And it's like I always say, hell's going to be full of beautiful voices, because they're wrong. Like, you don't accept Christ, I'm sorry, that's it. That's my faith. I stand firm by that. If you haven't accepted Christ as the one who is your Savior for your sins in this lifetime, and you follow his example, unless you do that, you're not going to heaven. I don't want to sound mean about it, but I don't care if you're the best person in the entire world, if you've given all your entire life. It's plainly and clearly written, there is no way back to the Father but through him, Christ. So, bottom line. And no, there are not levels of heaven. You know, because, you know, you heard that the Mormon. I never went as far as the underwear, you know, okay, but never been to a temple. So, yeah, basically, I didn't get that far into it, because it's like, the one thing God did gift me with was discernment. And so, look, I don't care how full your belly is because you decided to, you know, have your wife get involved with the Relief Society, and they went ahead and gave you food. It's like, look, if you gotta buy somebody into a religion, then it's the wrong one. Okay, all you have to do to get to heaven through Christ is believe in him. And a lot of people go, well, I don't believe in a God, and the demons are laughing. They're like, wow, we can't even do that because we even believe in God. Demons believe in God. Satan believes in God. So if you walking around life thinking I don't believe in a God, then you're doing something. Even these demons that you go off and vertical live your Ouija boarding to, those you're talking to, they believe in God more than you do. That should be you should be ashamed of yourself. If you're out doing that whole thing like the spirit, because I was into that at one point, like not into it, but into the technology and kind of debunking the whole paranormal thing. They were searching for spirits and demons. Oh, it's a demon, because they have random radio stations going through a noise gate and with some reverb, and it's like Huff Paranormal or all that other stuff that people watch, and it's just, that's all just straight up BS. All of it. You know who you're messing with? Demons. And they are real. And they believe in Christ, even if you don't. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The wolf does not care whether you believe he stalks you from the tree line. So don't play with fire. David, change this filter. What? Wonder how far the viewer count went down the moment I mentioned Christ. It doesn't matter. People will watch it. I'm on a worldwide platform. You'll get the message, and hopefully you'll consider it. But ultimately, it's your decision. But all opinions are welcome here, and all debates are welcome here. So that's what I'm here for. Those debates, those conversations, making new friends out of people who came in to be enemies. That's the fun part. That's definitely the fun part. That's why you don't see a lot of trolling on my channel anymore. They just gave up. They're like, dude likes it, man. We're not making him mad. We're just giving him ammo. Yeah, that's the way it is. So, with that being said, there will be a time tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, I can fly the drone at the field. Unless I get some kind of weather notification right as I wake up. Like, incoming storm, find shelter immediately. Just like it's random, you know? So, yeah, we'll get a flight in there. And we'll keep moving on with the projects. I'll keep renting blades. Get this thing, this big fan built. My biggest fan. No pun intended. Yes, pun intended. Pun very much intended. It's almost complete. Then I'm going to do the very large drive shaft. Giggity. And then I'll get everything put together and we'll put everything on this table. This is going to be my test bench here. Because I have other motors over there. So, yeah. Just got to get a couple more engines. A couple more motors. So, every subscriber, please go and buy me at least one coffee. And then I'm just kidding. I'm playing. Then I'd be able to afford all the engines I need for this. Yeah. Yeah, that fan is amazing. It's also quite heavy, so the momentum it's going to have is going to be scary. Because that's all solid infill. That's not. That's straight up PETG, solid infill. Just like I did the smaller blades, but these are much bigger and boy, when that thing comes apart, if it does, I'm gonna lose like lights and stuff in here. I gotta get an enclosure built for it, but chances are I won't be have enough money to build one in time for a test. So we'll just have to cross our fingers. I'm going to be filming from inside though, from behind the fire door and the firewall, so that if I do end up getting a lot of the blades come off or something happens and there's a catastrophic failure, that it'll only destroy itself and some things that are nearby, hopefully not the lights. Yeah. That's next steps. I'll keep you guys updated. Usually on the shorts, I'll keep everyone updated on what's going on with the fan builds. And when I do any flights, you'll be notified via a short, which will point to the video. Because I can't go live out where I'm at, because there's just no signal out there. So, that being said, tomorrow is the plan for this one. I've got 3 battery packs ready to go. and we'll see what we can do. We can get her to rip or burn her up. Either way, it's gonna be fun. And then I'll set up a post where we do something about this mask for a raffle. Just an appreciation to subscribers raffle, and we'll get you your Deadpool mask because it doesn't fit me. I gotta make it a little bit bigger, and it doesn't look right with the beard. What am I gonna be, Beardpool? Battery's done. Yes, we know. Thank you. Unplug. All right. So. Grab this. Okay. With that being said, be watching for that. Hopefully watching for that flying soon. That's mine. Sorry. This watch for this one because that one's going to be coming up. When that test is going to be a big test. I think if I'll probably do it live when I do this test because it'll be indoors, or I'll do a video. It just depends on how many people show up to watch it. So I would like a lot of people to see it. So I know they can go in afterwards and watch the live, but we'll see what we can do. This one is obviously these sitting here, so we'll be doing some videos on that. But I think the lineup that we're gonna have is we're gonna run this one to death, okay, and then we are going to hopefully get that one in the air. This test will probably happen before that, and those tests will happen with the same motor. Possibly around the same time as the 340 millimeter. And then we'll go from there. So don't forget your coffee. Link in the bio. And I'll be honest with you, these turbo motors right here, these turbo motors they're great. You can get them on Amazon. They last for a while. Matter of fact, I used an 850 to test my first stubby fan build, which is sitting right over there, which had a low pressure turbine system in it to help mitigate torque on the blade. So I kind of used that instead of the compressor. Making an electric turbine here. I don't need fuel yet. So, like I said, though, I appreciate everyone who has stopped by. Love you all. And if you are new, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the bell. Hopefully the bell will work and let people know when I have a video and I'm going live. And make sure you get yourself some good bitter coffee. Grab yourself some merch. And then be here and don't miss when I go live doing this stuff. Watch for the shorts. Watch for the videos. Because from now on, it's going to be some really cool, epic success or catastrophes. But either way, it's going to be fun. All right. And then next, coming up, we're doing a bioluminescent Pinellus icticus mycelium grow so that I can make an orchid glow with the Cas9 virus CRISPR. So a little bit of genetic engineering on the side. Maybe some cutting with the MPCNC. Don't miss it, though, because there's a lot coming up. Love you all. Thanks for being here, and I will see you soon.